Hey, good evening, good morning, whatever it may be while you're watching this video. This is Joel from Arizona Gaming Village, and this is basically a remake of a video I had made a couple days ago where I made a deck profile for this deck I had played this past Saturday, the 25th of September. We were actually playing the new format, but without the cards, so we didn't have any of the new tin cards to play with, but we did play the new format. So I ended up playing, well, I'm gonna say it's Watts, but it's not Watts. Ultimately, the deck is a rank 4 Thunder based toolbox deck. I don't know how to really explain it other than for me, it reminds me of, without the fusion aspect, it reminds me of Heroes a lot, with Stratoses and other cards that can push forward, that you can search off Stratos. So it's not really Watts because it's only 6 cards or Watts, and they're just a small engine of an already linear engine that I already have going on. This past week, I went 4-0 in the tournament, playing against 2 Drytron decks and 2 Dragon Link decks, and going about 8-3. So I think I lost most of my game 1s. I lost one of my game 2s, and obviously I won out. And I finished tied for first place. So bless Sun Valley Gaming here in Mesa, Arizona, or Gilbert, Arizona. Thanks for their tournaments. That they do really good participation support, and a lot of good players come out for that. So with this deck idea, I cut a lot of the Watt cards that I've been playing in the past. If you've been following my videos about Watts, I've cut a lot of them in favor of more powerful cards that are meant to just stop these new decks that are going to be more prevalent in the format, which I thought would be Drytrons, which I was right. Because I did play some cards in my main deck that were just an immediate shutdown to that deck. If you hear tapping, that's just my dog walking around. She's anxious when I'm talking to nobody. I made the deck like 5 minutes before the tournament even started, because I was like, the night before, I went like X4. I sucked, dude. I'll admit that I sucked, dude. And the weeks beforehand, I've been sucking with the deck numerous times. So this was complete amazement to me, but I'll admit that there was a couple of janky things that happened along the way. Mostly my side being a lot of hand traps, my main having a lot of hand traps. I know people hate playing through hand traps because it's just more issues to deal with. The deck's already slow enough as it is, and that's the only way I can compensate for that. And I'll admit that I'm, villain number 1 about abusing hand traps, especially right now, and how they impact my deck, actually, for me, myself, for my own advantages. So I'm actually going to go through this deck profile. It's still pretty similar to what I played, and I'll mention what was way more of an impact today and what I learned and what maybe you can take from this as well, and what I want to do going forward. Now, there are 3 cards on the side that my buddy Devin let me play that I do not have right now, along with 2 cards in the main deck that I also do not have on me. So I'll explain what they were when I get to them, but in the meanwhile, please enjoy the deck profile. Leave your comments down below. Again, this is a rank 4 Thunder toolbox deck with a Watt engine in it, okay? But not a strong one. 6 cards, 43 cards in the deck. It's 6 cards out of 43. It's a 7th of the deck. Can't really call it a deck. So rank 4 toolbox Thunder, with, and I play with it so much that I still don't know how to make successful end boards, or the most consistent end boards at least. I usually just try to get rid of the problem, or if I can OTK, I'll go for it too. I'll just go for it, because that's like the one chance I'll get to OTK. And if I can get rid of other monsters on the field while giving myself some resources to play with, like any other deck, then I'll go for that too. But I noticed that it did have a big defense, and I was ahead when I won those games, and it was really surprising to me. So I'm gonna go to this deck profile, and if you have any questions about why I play like a number of that, let me know down below, especially because I do play Pot of Desires. So you're gonna see my numbers, and you're gonna see what the deck was, and if you can kind of sense what's going on. But yeah, and let's go into the deck. All right, so we're gonna get into the deck profile here, and I'll mention what I borrowed from some of my friends and what ended up being more impactful this weekend. Again, we played a new ban list without cross designators, so keep that in mind. And I apologize for any glare. So I played 3 Ash Blossoms. Sorry, the deck's kind of inversed right now, so 3 Effect Veilers. Effect Veiler is very strong because I played Diana, a card I'll mention in a minute. This is a good card going second because you can pitch it and then it makes your Diana live when you start your turn. And then obviously stopping 1-for-1 monsters like Invoked and Dry Turns. 3 Bro Hunters. The Stratos of the deck, this is something I mentioned earlier in regards to heroes. This is something that Light Thunders, well, it searches Light Thunders, but Thunders as a whole needed, because not only can it search the Watts, it can search Diana, and it can search Thunder King Ryo, and a couple of other Thunder cards that you feel like you'd want to play. It just can't search itself, and it's only on a normal summon, so that's its drawback. But 3 copies because you want to see it first turn. 3 Diana, the Light Spirits. She can only be special summoning by banishing a light monster from your graveyard, which will probably be your entire deck for the most part. So she's really easy to bring out and to extend, and she's a beat stick. And if you happen to leave her on your board for a couple of turns, she'll net you 1,000 life points on your opponent's end phase. But she's meant to be an extender for the deck. The very small Watt engine of 3 Cobras and 2 Giraffes. 3 Cobras obviously can search other Watt cards off direct damage, and then Giraffe can also deal direct damage, and it negates effects for the rest of the turn, except for continuous effects. 2 Thunder King, very powerful card. This is what I added last minute to make it up to like 40. I cut some other cards, like some of the other Watt pieces, because I really wanted to play a strong summon going first. And even if I go first, and let's say like I can't even search the rest of my deck, it'll probably end up being on the field for a minute, and then once it's gone, I can play the rest of the deck like Bro Hunter, search Diana, special Diana, because I'll have Thunder King. That's granted if I don't get killed the turn Thunder King is removed, but yeah, it's just a powerful card. It won me like 2 games flat out by itself, so I think it shouldn't be slept on. The Red Ice package, so I just played 1 copy of each. And then 1 Thunder Seahorse, because realistically I only need to search Bro Hunter, and once Bro Hunter goes off once, it kind of searches the deck out anyways. But this, I didn't want to play multiples because this, if you activate this, it stops your special summoning. So I didn't want to be locked out late in the game. So I figured I could draw something else and just be very mindful. I mean, mostly that I just wanted to play 1 copy, and it stayed in there, and it's another light target that goes to the graveyard. And then I want 3 Desires, so this is 43 cards. This weekend, I mean, my draws were really lucky, and the mills were kind of 50-50, obviously, as Desires would be. But yeah, this is just I love seeing an extra card, and yeah, I was playing Prosperities, but my friend took his back for the tournament, so this is what I fell back on. So I added a couple extra cards, plus 40 or above 40. Double or Nothing, because it's a rank 4 deck. Call by the Grave, because this is just a really good card offensively and defensively. Red Ice Fusion. Okay, Watt Train. I cut this from 2 to 1. If you don't know what it does, for every Thunder Light monster you have on your side of the field, you can search that many Watt cards to your hand, or different named Watt cards to your hand. So I can only go up to 2. But its second effect on a different turn, on your next turn, you can banish it from your graveyard and special summon as many different named watts from your hand to the field. So it's another way to get more monsters on the field. I'd play more, but I was just drawing it and 4 or 5 spells, and I just was like, I need to play another impact card, and that's what Thunder King was. And then Monster Reborn. I don't think I actually activated this whole that whole weekend, this whole Saturday. So, I mean, no comment. So 3 strikes to coincide with 3 judgments, just to really stop everything. Against the Dragon Link decks, just stopping the last summon, and then strike. I mean, that's what both cards did, really, is just stop summons and anything. I mean, because I was okay with leaving a couple months on the field, but depending on what they were, that's what I was using these for. I was like letting spell and traps go through, letting all their other effects to go through until they were at their very last summon, when they were out of resources and they'd gone all through their effects. You just hit them with the strike, hit them with the judgment, and it should be. I wouldn't say it's a blowout, but I'm saying it for me. It was very optimal because it gave me one more turn. 3 imperm to give me more hand traps, and this is just another way, if you can get to it, to out spells and traps. And then the last, Imperial Order. This card's nuts. It wins the games by itself. And then my last 3 were kind of wonky. It's a really wonky. So I played 2 Trunchels that I don't have, and a Compulse. Compulse was mostly for Shaddolls, to spin back the Shaddol fusions and try to minimize advantage that they would garner and their sets. And then Trunchel was for me to come back late in the game, if it was like a grind, just flipping it, wiping the board, or just disrupting plays. Trunchel was the only card one Trunchel I got off, and I never resolved anything else. And then going second, these 3 were really easy targets to take out, to side out. So, and considering that my side deck is 3 copies of each card, this was basically a set. So I was trading hand traps for the traps I was setting game 1, basically. Speaking of, so I played Nibiru, and I played Triple Tactics, and my friend Devin also let me borrow for the tournament. I want to mention those 6 cards or these 2 cards, because I never resolved them. Schoolmeister, I resolved a couple times, and it's a banger. It's a 1-for-1 hit for the graveyard. Lancia does the same. I mean, it doesn't do the same thing. It's just that I really wanted to play impact cards that would like stop turns, just like, you're done, you can't play this turn. And Tactics was a way for me to engage in my first turn if I got held up by hand traps. The last card I played was Lightning Storms as well, which is just a really good going second card. Actually, going second or first, games 2 or 3, because my deck is already slow and it's privy to field wipe, so this is a good way to come back from that. Lancias, they're good going second or first, games 2 or 3, because they're a light target that you can have for your Diana to special summon herself off of. And then Schoolmeister, good against Drytons, and Tri-Brigade, and a lot of the meta. And because I don't have Tactics right now, there's actually another card I'm thinking of test playing in the side. More on that to come later. But the side was really based. I sided everything in, I just never resolved everything. Like when I had Nibiru, I had already had advantage. So yeah, let's do, I don't know why this is so wonky. Sorry guys. So I played Utopia combo, Utopia double with Lightning. Played 1 Red Ice Dragoon, 1 Zeus, because you do play a lot of XYZs. And then, so I'm gonna mention Unicorn was for if I was to tactic something, I would steal the monster and link up into it. So I just need a generic card, and that's all I could really get. All Mirage, because this lets me go into Dragoons with off Bro Hunter to search Diana, link up into this. Special Diana going to Verte, and then Summon Goon, and then Verte, and then Ahasima. So it lets me, it's just extra damage, and if I'm playing against spells and traps, a lot of them, it's a good way to pop spells and traps. So, and yeah, it's just extra damage. It's just unfortunate you can't link up with it anymore. And then the rank 4s that I played this weekend were Exciton Knight, because it's a Zeus, Heartland Draco, which also gets you Zeus, or gets you 2 Zeus, Baguska, because it's good late in the game when you have advantage, especially against Shaddolls. It's not good against Lynx. Emerald, I made this a few times, but I was already ahead, and I was making it off Ahasima, so I was popping spells and traps while I was drawing cards. Tornado Dragon, it's Tornado Dragon. It's 2 for 1 off this card. Especially, this is all like really good. This card's only good after like Watch Giraffe's resolved, because then they can't like do anything to it, and you're just popping spells and traps for free. And then Pistoler, this was the best card of the whole day. It's just it's not an instant one. It's just it's like activate, pass, okay, 17, and then get more advantage, and then on their turn activate, pass, set. It was just ending turns, and that's what I was trying to focus on this whole weekend, or at least on Saturday. So yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys have any questions about my explanations, please feel free to leave them down below, and I'll try my best to respond to them. But you guys are amazing. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Abraham from Sun Valley Gaming for hosting another awesome tournament. It was a box tournament, and like I said, if I hadn't mentioned before, my friends Steven Antoine and I tied for 1st and 2nd place. He actually was playing Heroes, and it was a pretty eventful day, to say the least. So yeah, please leave a like and subscribe if you guys want, and I'll catch you guys later days.